go to somebody to have them, clean you, and different things. So that's what a witch doctor was. But what about a witch hunter? We talk about a witch, we talk about a witch doctor, and a witch hunter was somebody who wanted to, by any means, seek out anyone who resembled even having the characteristics or the behavior or doing some of the acts that they considered to be illegal and whatnot. Okay, let's look at in Tanzania, because right now you look at India, you look at different parts of Africa, you look at Papua New Guinea, you look at a lot of places where there are actually laws in place, and I'm talking about laws right now today that are in place to protect people, these anti-witchcraft laws, because these people, or these anti-witch hunt laws that would protect these people from witch hunters going out and straight murdering them. In Tanzania, between 1960 and 2000, 40,000 people, 40,000 people were murdered being accused of witchcraft. 40,000. Okay. And we're not talking about the witch trials that happened back in the 1500s. We're talking about right now. In 2009, Papua New Guinea had some of the same type of things going on. Okay. In Ghana, women are actually exiled to go and live in what they call witch camps. And do you know the type of people that are exiled to go to these places? Older women whose families have thrown them away, and widowed women, a widowed woman. And maybe because you got a little glaucoma or film over your eye, and you look at a lot of these village people, and I'm not talking about the musical group, but you look at a lot of these village people who may not know any better, and they look at somebody who have a cataract over their eye or a glaucoma over their eye, and so automatically this person is classified as a witch, because this is one of the defining characteristics, as having an off eye, or one that seems to be kind of glossed over with like a film or a glaucoma or something like that. So they would look at women like this and they would exile them, okay, if not completely, just straight murder them. Okay. And it's very sad. We can go into some teachings here. Let's turn this into a teaching point, and let's look at the fact that before, let's say, the 19th century, before the 1900s, most women, most psychics, okay, most seers, okay, were women. That was before the 1900s. You would rarely find a man psychic or a man astrologist or a man practitioner. Now I'm going to give you a little bit of the reason why. Let's go back into hunter-gatherer days. I don't care if you are a European hunter-gatherer or if you are a melanated hunter-gatherer. Going back into the hunter-gatherer days, way back in antiquity, when our ancestors were still running around out there barefoot, trying to catch our food, the men, the left side of their brains would have to develop faster. Why? Because they needed to be able to outsmart animals to survive. They needed to be able to memorize hunting paths and routes, from their village to, where they would be able to find the animals or the game, and different things like that. So therefore, they had to be more logical. So therefore, the left side of their brain would develop faster, while the women, on the other hand, the right side of their brains developed faster, because they would need to be able to sense and pick up on danger that were coming to their children before this danger was actually able to be seen. They need to be able to feel it. They need to be able to sense it. Okay, and so therefore the women's side of the brain would develop faster because of that. So now we go generations and generations into the future. Okay, and so now we have this kind of dynamic where men are more logical and women are more intuitive and receptive, right? And so that has nothing to do with being a witch at all, but there are still witch hunters out here. So what's my biggest point? What's your biggest point, Ningba? What's the biggest thing that you want to bring about here? I want to talk about the fact of these modern day witch hunts. Okay. And they're happening through your online platforms and your social media platforms. A couple of things are happening here. Number one, one of the main modern day witch hunts that we don't seem to be comfortable talking about is the attack on women. Oh, that's a witch hunt if I've ever seen one. You know, a woman can't say she's a woman. You have to be careful how you say, what you say about women. Listen, woman. I am a woman. I'm not a fucking birthing person. I'm not a person with boobs or behind. I am a woman, period. You will not attack me. That is a modern day witch hunt, period. Number two, the spirit trap that many of you all are falling under, all on your TikToks and your Instagrams, talking about you doing spells, talking about you doing this. Listen, just because you're not in, early medieval European times, and just because you're not right now in the 2000s, in the 20th century, because you're not in a place like India, Papua New Guinea, different places, sub-Saharan Africa, where you don't have to worry about being tortured, murdered, or exiled because you so colorfully and flamboyantly want to classify yourself as a witch. You think you don't have to worry about that, but I beg to differ that you all are being lured into some very dangerous spirit traps. See, listen, you see how comfortable and loud you all are proclaiming, oh, I'm a witch, I'm a new age witch, I'm a kitchen witch, I'm a sex witch, I'm a this witch, I'm a that witch. Well, guess what? The witch hunter is not letting you know that that's who they are, that's what they're doing. They're just slowly and silently from afar watching you. They're watching you from behind your social media platform. They're hiding behind their avatar. They're never commenting or mentioning anything in your videos, and some of them might. But they're not doing that. They're watching you, and they're waiting for you to slip up. And some of the witch hunters may even be very ancient witches themselves and have the ability to learn how to trap you. That's the beautiful thing about it. That's the beautiful thing about it. Maybe not so beautiful. Okay? But we're talking about the fact that when you talk about people that have had to preserve knowledge and preserve a culture, because wise women and working with the supernatural powers and metaphysics and all of these things are natural gifts that human beings have based on how we were created. If we want to go back into let's say the Book of Enoch, for example, we can go into book 1 or book 2 where we talk about the watch. I think it was book 2 where they speak about the watchers and how angels fell from heaven and mated with earthly women. Okay, so these fallen angels, and then these children would be the Nephilim. And so even if we're talking about human beings having a distinct lineage to something supernatural, then it would be feasible that humans would have some sort of a latent or dormant supernatural ability if in fact what the scriptures and some of the texts have stated is correct. So how could this be witchcraft? But they're still out here hunting you. Okay, they're still out here hunting you, and this is the thing that you've got to be aware of, right? When you talk about people that have had to preserve this culture for decades or hundreds of years, they're not wearing an I'm a witch t-shirt. They're not creating a social platform page and doing spells and teaching people how to do spells. This type of knowledge and information was kept very secret, no different than the knowledge that comes out of like the Masonic lodges and different things like that, just like some of the true message that come out of like Yoruba teachings, out of Ifa, things that you could only be initiated into the system to learn. It is the same with true witchcraft and magic. So I believe that a lot of what you all are getting out here when you're just kind of looking at a lot of these little pop-up shops, these little pop-up witches, these little pop-up shops with these people proclaiming to be who they are, I believe that a lot of this is very dangerous and very misleading, and it could be leading you all into some very, very dangerous territory as it relates to your spirit and your soul. Because all of these things that they are proclaiming that you can do, things like astral project, yes, a lot of these things are real. I'm not going to lie. I've done these things myself. But you have to be careful, because if you don't have the right mechanism, if you don't have the right protection, if you don't have the right guidance, if you don't have the right, if you just ain't right going in, you can really do yourself more harm than good. You can really invite situations into your life, into your experience, that will definitely lead you into something that you don't want to be into. And so I say, move with caution, buyer beware. You know, can't buy everything that you hear. You can't be buying it out there. Okay, so I wanted to just kind of drop that, because I don't believe that a lot of you all are aware of the fact that there are still witch hunts going on, and that just because you think you live in a liberal country called America right now, and even over in the United Kingdom and Australia and different places where, you know, you can loudly proclaim and just be free to say, hey, I'm a witch, I'm this, I'm that. I would say that the people that know the real secrets, they're not talking about it. They're not telling it. They're not creating social media pages and doing websites showing you how you can do spells and charging you $5 and $10, you know, for a spell. This is just not the way that magic works. All right. So I want you all to be very careful with what you're out here doing. If you want some knowledge, if you want to get some teaching, I want to urge you to get to my website, www.aphroditestone.com. And there's been a lot of changes going on. As you guys will see, some of you have already known. If you are already signed up as members to my website, then you've already got the email. You all kind of know what's going on. And I've been going through a lot of changes, good changes, and I want to pay some things forward. And I've created a new space where everyone who decides to become a member of this new space can join me for free meetings, free Zoom meetings, free webinars, where you can come and do a study group with us, where we will be studying alchemy, metaphysics, world religion, religious and spiritual philosophy, and touching on things all across the board. Yes, this is a free study group. This is a free meeting that everyone is not only welcome, but encouraged to attend, to come and be a part of it. And all you got to do is get to the website and follow the directions to become a part of that study group. There are a lot of beautiful and amazing things that are going on. And I wanted to be able to offer some services for people that have little to no income. I want to be able to do some of this help for free. I'm going to say this before I get out of here, which is kind of why you guys have not seen me, because I've been allowing spirit to work with me, and I've been working with myself, and I've been kind of talking with the creative source within me. And I've noticed that a lot of people have been trying to attach a monetary value to spiritual help, to doing spiritual work. Everybody, it's about money. It's about money. Everybody thinks they want to make this a business and think that you're going to make thousands and thousands of dollars off of it. It doesn't work like that, y'all, because now we're moving into a space and time where people are doing it for themselves. So they're going to need you to be doing their spiritual work less and less and less. You get what I'm saying? But I'm noticing that a lot of people are placing a lot of monetary value on this thing, and it's diluting it. And people are actually, paying for nonsense. They're being taken advantage of. They're being led astray by people who don't even have as much knowledge as the people who they claim to be helping. So I've decided that I have some offerings in the new space